Hello and welcome guys to another video, and today we are at Suzuka for another track guide. So coming into the first corner, you want to keep an eye out for the escape road on the left. That is going to be our braking zone for the first corner. Now you want to carry your speed into the first corner, stay in the higher gears, so staying in 5th gear for the first corner, and then coast, engine shift, engine brake down into 4th, let it run out wide, brake around halfway down the curb, and then coast again for turn 2 and engine shift down into 2nd gear, and then short shift into 3rd for the exit. Make sure to get a late apex so you can open up that exit there. Now this is a very difficult sector, so I've slowed it right down for us. So you want to turn in just at the end of the painted wall on the right hand side and just lift as we turn in here. Use the engine braking down into 3rd. On the throttle to get the rotation on the exit, and then as soon as we turn in, we're lifting off the throttle again, but keeping a tiny bit of the throttle to not unload the car too much. And then as you see, on the throttle again on the exit to get it rotated, and then at the start of the curbing on the left, we lift off the throttle again. You can use the curbing to help rotate the car, but the key thing is to not brake because that will slow you down. It's better to just coast. Coming into the final part of this, you want to lift off the throttle, hold it tight. You can shift into 2nd, but that might unsettle the car, so it depends on the setup. But as you see, just hold it nice and tight, coast, and then as we get to the exit of the corner, straighten up, get back on the throttle, and then as soon as we turn in for the final part here, we want to lift off the throttle about 2 car lengths before the start of the curbing. You lift off, turn in, and then get on the throttle nice and early. Be careful with traction because of that elevation change. It's very easy to lose the traction. And then make sure to go wide and use all the track there. Coming into this double right hander, you really want to send it, so brake about a car length before the 50-meter board. Use a decent amount of curb, but you don't need to use a lot as you see here. But track limits are very lenient on the exit as we see here, so you really want to push it right out wide as you can see here. Now there isn't a braking board for the second right hander, but you brake around here, so round about halfway down the curbing, but you want to make sure that you brake early enough, get a late apex. If you take too much speed into this corner, you will lose it on the straight after, so make sure to brake early and focus on your exit. As you see here again, using a lot of curbing on the exit, but the exit is super important on that corner. Coming into the hairpin now, brake just before the end of the curbing on the right hand side as we see here, and you want a late apex to open up the straight afterwards. As you see here, want to get that late apex. I tend to not use the curbing on the exit because I find I lose time, but you can use it if you need to. For the straight here, just hold it on the right hand side. Be careful not to clip that tiny little curve there on the right hand side because it will literally spin you out. But as you see, just hold it nice and tight for this right hander. Coming into this double left hander, very similar to turns 1 and 2. Look for the escape road on the right hand side to start braking. Keep it in the higher gear, keep it in 3rd, sorry, and get close to that curb. Don't use it though for the first part of the corner. Let it drift out wide onto that curbing, and about 3/4 of the way down the curbing, you want to brake for the left hander, coast it, and then get on the throttle right at the end of this curbing on the left hand side. Short shift into 3rd gear to give you that traction on the exit, and then you can use a lot of the exit curbing as you see here. Be careful as it's quite easy to invalidate if you go into the exit curbing too soon, so be mindful of that. Now coming into 130R, arguably the hardest corner of the track. Now the thing is, if you lift off too much, you will spin. So at the 50-meter board, turn in, keep the throttle planted, but then just before the apex at the start of the curb, you lift off about half and then back on the throttle for the exit. If you lift off completely when you turn in, you will just spin out because it will unload the car, so you want to keep that aero loaded. Now for the final chicane, brake about 2 car lengths after the 150-meter board as we see here. Coming into the final chicane, you want to really attack the curbing here, get a late apex, and then coming in for the left hander, just lift off the throttle, and to turn it in you don't need to tap the brakes, but just lift off the throttle, get a late apex so you can open this up, and just short shift into 2nd gear. You can use a bit of that curbing on the outside there, but be careful that you don't stay on it for too long because there is a bump at the end of the curbing. and then keep it on the right hand side just to gain that little fraction of time. Now here's the lap without me talking through it. It's not the quickest lap I can do, but I thought it was a fairly good lap and smooth for the track guide, so here it is. As always guys, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and see you again next time.